All right, Jules, we have more Champions League related stuff.
Yes.
Gigi Donnarumma says he's not sure he's sticking around in Paris. He's the highest paid keeper in the world. He has 1 year left on his contract. And there is no sign of the club, or his
Right.
camp says,
Yeah.
wanting to discuss a new deal with him.
Yeah, no, the negotiations and the talks have restarted. I think for a moment they stalled a bit back in like January, February. And Enzo Raiola and Luis Campos are in contact for it. They would like him to stay. I think he stated already, he said publicly in interviews that he wanted to stay as well. And I think he will stay.
Yeah, and he has to say, I don't know,
Yeah, of
because
course.
until he signs. But it's funny because that is a ton of, this goes back to the original sin of the
Leonardo,
contract that
yeah.
Milan. No, I think
Oh,
it
sorry.
goes even further. The contract he got with Milan,
Yeah.
which just set the baseline so high.
True.
Again, he makes around 10 million euros a year net, which for those who like thinking in weekly pounds per week is something close to 380,000 pounds a week. That is an absurd.
Yeah.
That is it's not absurd. I mean, he's arguably one of the top 3 or 4 goalkeepers in the world, but he's one of the top 7 or 8 highest paid players in the world. In
Yeah.
fact, maybe even top 5 if you exclude like Messi and Cristiano in these special cases. And he's probably not one of the top 5 players in the world.
that's true. And guess who's also not sure if he's staying, Gabi? Simone Inzaghi.
Yeah, so we touched upon it before. He was asked afterwards, so like, how do you pick yourself up for going forward? And he says, like, I don't know. Well, will you at least be going to the Club World Cup? And he said, I don't know. The club have made it very clear that, dude, you have a contract, you're staying. I don't know where this comes from, if he really is emotional and upset and worn out. There's a meeting on Tuesday where I think they're also going to discuss kind of plans going forward. I think this is what's in play. I really don't want to think that it's this massive offer that he supposedly has from Saudi Arabia, because that would make me very sad.
I know it would.
UEFA's technical observers, who are a bunch of coaches and ex-players, released their team of the season. Jules, I detect a little bit of recency bias, but I have no problem with it. There's 7 Paris Saint-Germain players, and no country has more players on the list than Italy, who, of course, decided not to play in the last 2 World Cups. I can be proud of that. What jumps out for you?
I think 7 is fair because it's a very attacking team, as you would expect, really. Donnarumma in goal, we said, best goalkeeper in the Champions League this season, no problem. Hakimi and Nuno Mendes, the best fullbacks in the Champions League too this season, and probably Hakimi for sure the best right back in the world. Nuno Mendes not far from being probably the best left back in the world. Bastoni and Marquinhos are centre back. I like Pacho more than Marquinhos this season.
I think we know that it's like the Ballon d'Or. Some people get in on reputation. Marquinhos is the club captain and whatever.
Yeah.
And I am a huge Marquinhos fan. I always had him near the top all those years. I thought he was even better than Thiago Silva for many years.
Yeah.
That said, this season,
that's
he's not
it.
been on the same level, and I would have had Pacho ahead of him.
Definitely. Then Vitinha, Declan Rice, yes, definitely no problem. And then the 4 forwards are Lamine Yamal, Ousmane Dembele, and Rafinha. Until then, no problem. Really, they're the 3 outstanding players in the Champions League this season. Desiré Doué managed to find his way into this team of the season when, as you said earlier, Gabi, he really is starting playing. He played every game, so he played 17 games this season in the Champions League, which is the same as PSG. There's no problem. But to have him there purely just on what he did in the final and a bit before, to be fair, I guess Aston Villa and Liverpool, but still.
I think we have to accept this is based on the final. It's not supposed to
A
be,
lot of it,
but a lot of it is inevitably based and influenced by the final. If Arsenal get through, I'm pretty sure Declan Rice is not the only Arsenal player on here. If Inter had won, I'm sure Bastoni wouldn't have been the only guy on here. You can make the same case for almost any other club.
Francesco Acerbi has refused his Italy call-up, citing a lack of respect. Gab, you were counting on him, I'm sure, to stop Erling Haaland in his massive game on Friday in the qualifiers.
I think somebody else was, but no, look, I mean, Acerbi's annoyed because Spalletti didn't call him up, I think, in March after he called him up in November. Again, I think you should be happy. Like, dude, you're old, you're competing on free throws. You can give it a miss in March. This could have all been avoided if he had Spalletti had rung him and
Probably,
say, "Hey,
yeah.
I'm not gonna, I'm gonna call you. Are you good to come back?" And or Acerbi had rung him and says, "Hey, just in case you're calling me, I want to take a break." I think he's being a little bit of a baby here. I don't think Spalletti is a big fan, but equally, you can't say, "Oh, this means so much to me," and then say, "No, I'm not going," at this stage.
Yeah.